The revolution in Virginia emerged from the gradual deterioration of the colony's relationship with the mother country. It found its strength, however, in the political and ethical philosophy of Virginia's citizens. Prominent Yorktown merchant Thomas Nelson, Jr. was one of a group of young Virginians who, from 1766 on, began pushing for an increasingly stronger response to what was seen as British injustice and its interference in the colony's internal affairs. As a member of Virginia's legislature, and eventually her third governor, Nelson did much to influence the direction that response would take.
My husband Thomas was born in Virginia in December of 1738. His grandfather had settled in Yorktown some 30 years before. Allied to many of the colony's foremost families by marriage, the Nelsons were the owners of a thriving mercantile concern. By the time he returned from his law studies at Cambridge, Thomas was considered a young gentleman of merit and fortune. We were married in 1762. I am Lucy Grimes Nelson. There was never a better time for settling in Yorktown. We had a lovely home on a bluff overlooking the York River. There we began raising our large family. Shortly after our marriage, Thomas was elected to the House of Burgesses in Williamsburg. An appointment as Justice of the Peace followed, and soon he was serving as colonel in the county militia as well. With such varied business and political interests, my husband was far from idle. Still, his greatest concerns remained our family and lovely home. The first years of our marriage were dedicated primarily to the enjoyment of those treasures. A momentum was building, however, in Virginia and across her sister colonies. It would soon sweep the pleasant life we knew into the wake of history.
By late 1775, Nelson was headed for Philadelphia as a delegate to the Continental Congress. There he offered the historical resolution of 1776, calling upon the Congress to declare the United Colonies free and independent. The result was the framing of the Declaration of Independence, to which Nelson added his signature. Though without real military experience, he accepted command of Virginia's militia. Soon he was handling all arrangements for the protection of the Old Dominion, as well as locating and distributing supplies for the Continental Army. He was to pour vast amounts of his personal wealth into the cause.
Despite extremely poor health, there was only one place my husband could be in October 1781. As the armies prepared for their decisive encounter at Yorktown, Thomas was here, at the head of Virginia's 3,000-man militia. With Lord Cornwallis and some 3,000 British troops garrisoned in the village, the encircling American and French armies began heavy artillery bombardment. It was then, as our cannon began its fire, that my husband's commitment must have received its severest personal test. Convinced he knew where the British general was quartered, he pointed to a familiar roof and ordered American artillery aimed there. For however much my husband loved our gracious home, he loved liberty more. Thomas never fully recovered from the injuries to his health and fortune suffered in the War for Independence. He was able to keep most of his holdings intact, but his business affairs were plagued with problems for the remainder of his life. I've always been particularly proud of a newspaper account of his death in January 1789. It noted that, as a citizen, there are few to whom Virginia is more indebted.
Today, named in honor of this great Virginia patriot, Thomas Nelson Community College is a two-year institution of higher education, established as part of a statewide system of community colleges. It serves the residents of the cities of Hampton, Newport News, Poquoson, Williamsburg, and the counties of James City and York. The college is dedicated to the belief that each individual should be afforded the continuing opportunity to develop his skills and knowledge to the highest possible level. Like Thomas Nelson Jr., whose early contributions to our colonial society helped gain our independence, Thomas Nelson Community College students are made increasingly aware of their role as contributing members of a dynamic and complex world. In order to meet the challenge, the college offers various post-high school programs. These programs follow two main tracks. One track prepares students for college transfer credit with freshman and sophomore courses in arts and sciences. Also, pre-professional programs must meet standards which are acceptable for transfer to baccalaureate degree programs in four-year colleges and universities. The second track offers occupational and technical education programs designed to meet the increasing demand for technicians, semi-professional workers, and skilled craftsmen. Additional programs are offered in developmental studies for basic skills. Cultural events, workshops, conferences, and seminars are designed to provide still other opportunities for the citizens of our region. An extensive counseling and testing program helps each student make sound decisions regarding his educational, occupational, and personal goals. Many diverse elements contribute to the quality of instruction. Faculty, students, finances, teaching methods, facilities, resources, and educational philosophy all play significant roles in the educational environment of this institution. Like Thomas Nelson Jr., our college continues to make contributions to the citizens of the Virginia Peninsula. We honor this patriot who gave so much in the fight for independence through our mission of serving the educational needs of our region.